Hello, and you're very welcome to the JMac podcast. I'm John Man. Of course, the podcast is brought to you by orgarech.com. Use the code JMac podcast to get 15% off on their website. And this evening, I'm joined by GA Statsman Matthew Hurley to talk about last weekend's club fixtures and this weekend's club fixtures, all in the football. And of course, obviously, Sky leaving the GA market after they're obviously on the market since 2014. So Sky parted company with the GA, and BBC have stepped in, and also finally bit of white smoke up at Donegal. They finally got their hands into a football manager. So lots to talk about, Mr. Hurley. How are you?
All good though, John. We're mentioning off air there that we aren't concentrating on other counties other than our own. Yourself with Cavan and myself with Cork. But the club championships now they're ramping up the pace. So I think Colin Parkinson said on Twitter, once the provincial championships start kicking in, we'll get interested more into other counties. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward indeed to this chat here.
Absolutely. It is great to have you on, my man, and it's good to see you again. All's good, and you're a busy man, no doubt. And of course, on Friday night, of course, we had the Talton Cup Team of the Year. It took place in Dublin on Friday evening, so I'll just run through the team. And obviously, in between six, number one, you had Aidan Devaney. Number two, you had Jack Smith. Number three, Kevin Maguire. Number four, cornerback Evan Lyons. Number five, wing back Jason McLaughlin. Centre half back Ronan Wallace. Wing back Killian Clark. Midfield Sam McCartan and Sean Carabine. Half forward line of Grover McKernan, Ronan O'Toole and Anton Sullivan. And the full forward line of Jerry Smith, John Heslin and Keith Byrne. And Talton Cup Player of the Year was Mr. Ronan O'Toole from Westmeath. Mr. Hurley, what do you think of all that?
Yeah, it was a decent team. I'm first and foremost, I was delighted to keep Burnga on the team. Like a lot of people are saying that he'd be off the team because he's from Leitrim. They finished in the quarterfinals, but his scoring record in Division 4 and the Tailteann Cup was absolutely unbelievable. So I'm delighted first and foremost he's on it. I'm pretty disappointed that Alan Riley didn't make it from Sligo. I thought he was a scoring machine in the Tailteann Cup. Personally, I thought he was excellent. Raymond Gallagher, I thought was unlucky from Cavan. I thought he was an excellent goalkeeper this season. Delighted Evan Lyons got in for Sligo. I really rate him at full back. Kevin Maguire, very good. Ronan Wallace. So overall, I think the team was decent enough. I suppose a few others from Offaly. Johnny Maloney's a bit, could feel a little bit hard done by there as well. He had very good performances this season. But overall, I think each and every one of them players are deserving of their place in the team. I'm looking through now, George Smith, I think was under a bit of an unsung hero for your own County Cavan there. Garrett McKiernan, unbelievable. Ronan O'Toole definitely deserves Player of the Year. I thought he was outstanding from start to finish for that Westmeath side, centre forward. But overall, I'm delighted enough with the team. I'm just disappointed that Raymond Gallagher didn't get in ahead of Aidan Devaney and possibly Alan Riley for Sligo. That would be my only qualms, to be honest.
Yeah, no, and of course I kind of put it up on my socials, and I really did. I think that for our second-rate competition or second field kind of competition, it's a very, very strong team. But I think every man that has got on that starting 15 definitely deserved their place. And obviously, Westmeath came out champions of the inaugural Talton Cup, so it was obviously great to see. And I would agree with all that. I think I don't want to put on the Cavan hat, but obviously I think Ray Gallagher definitely maybe did deserve a bit of a shout. And there obviously was a lot of good performances. Now I know we got a bit of slagging during the week. Try and put all the Cavan men in, but of course, geez, there was such good performances by the Sligo men and the Offaly men and the Westmeath men. But overall, I think Matthew, that's not a bad team, and that team would probably put it up the most county teams in Ireland.
Probably would. Like, I'd be interested to see maybe an all-star football team that'll be named on Friday night against this team. Yeah. A bit like if a Super Cup type of game or Finalissima in soccer or something like that. It'll be interesting to see. Or even, I was thinking, even I didn't post this on my own page or anything like that, but even for Westmeath to come up against Kerry, I know Kerry are miles ahead at the moment.
Yeah.
But I just think that's an interesting game. It'll be a good watch in Croke Park, to be honest. Or else maybe put it in a neutral venue, maybe in Tullamore or something, Simple Stadium or something like that, maybe just to raise a bit for charity or something like that. So I think that would be a brilliant idea. But I'd be interested to see if that happens. But it's absolutely brilliant that these players are getting the recognition they deserve. And I think the Tailteann Cup was a success this season. I'm sure you agree, John, being a Cavan man yourself.
Big time. No, I definitely do agree on it. And in fairness, I know obviously it was Westmeath's day in July for the Talton Cup final, but obviously we went up with all intentions of trying to win, and I know I was chatting to you the week leading into it, but look, I suppose Cavan, we really need to start performing at them big days. But no, it was definitely a success. The Westmeath lads are off on a holiday now, in a month's time. you get a lot of benefits from winning it out. So it definitely it's a great incentive to go on and win it. So look, Westmeath, they're laughing, and as you rightly said, a bit of a charity game maybe, or if the GA could maybe do more with the total 15 against, as you say, like a Kerry team, the All Ireland champions, or anything like that would be great, even to raise a few pound for charity. But that could be brilliant down the line. But overall, a rip-roaring success match, you have to say.
It is, no, yeah, it's a brilliant competition, really. And we were thinking back to the Tommy Murphy Cup before the Tanty Cup began, and thought that was a real failure in the GAA's history. But this competition, I think, has been full of thrills and spills, really. When you look at the Leitrim Sligo penalty shootout, more stuff happening all over the field. Like, it's only disappointed between scorekeeping and doing match reports and stuff like that, and watching Munster hurling finals. I only actually got to see one Tailteann Cup game in full. That was the Westmeath Offaly game, and Westmeath were much the better team in that game. But hopefully I'll get to see more Tailteann Cup games next season. Maybe that's something that needs to be fixed. Like, I remember Leitrim at Sligo, one of the most memorable games of the year, was scheduled at the same time as Clare at Limerick, which again in hurling was one of the most memorable games of the year as well. So maybe there's something to work from there, but it will be difficult with all the games next season. You look at the last 16 thing, the format in the Sam Maguire Cup, I think it'll be even harder next year. That'll be the only real qualm about the Tailteann Cup. Maybe scheduling games needs to be tweaked a small bit.
Yeah, definitely it'd be great to see them integrate more games and keep promoting the Tailteann Cup, because we've seen the maroon, we've seen the blue and white in Croke Park in July, we've seen the buzz it brought. So in fairness, I have to hand it to the GA. They definitely, I know they got a lot of criticism maybe for the planning and organising of the Tailteann Cup at the time, but I think it was a big success, and it'll be interesting to see what teams go for it next year and really go on and try to win it. And I suppose, Matthew, lots of news happened this week in the GAA front. Obviously, Sky Sports have parted company with the GAA. Obviously, I think BBC, the word on the street is that they've took their place, I suppose. So what's the initial reaction, I suppose, on Sky? Because I obviously have been watching a lot of debate and feedback and tweets and what you're having yourself these days. And I think was it off the ball, kind of making the comment that there's obviously a human aspect to it. People have probably lost their jobs over this, unfortunately, Matthew. So there definitely is a bit of a human side to it too, I suppose.
There is, yeah. It's a difficult day to lose a job in any environment, really. Gráinne McIlwain is one I really felt sorry for, because I thought she was absolutely outstanding presenting wise, and maybe there's an opportunity there on the Sunday Game highlight show. I think she's absolutely outstanding as a presenter. I personally think maybe RT can nick a few Sky pundits, but also there's the cameramen, the crew, and all that, and I honestly feel sorry for them. But honestly, I think Sky were better than RT once it came to punditry. I thought they were absolutely. The only thing was, like, you were paying for no TV and things like that to try and get Sky. That was the only qualm about it. But then GA goes now coming. I'm sure you'll get onto that later, John, about this. €150 for a year. I think I paid this last year, 2021.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what I paid with the prices of diesel and things going up,
God, no, yeah.
It's going to be a big ask, like, but yeah, it's difficult about Sky people losing their jobs, but I think honestly it'll be missed in some ways, but in other ways, like, you have to think of the elderly as well. They can't afford Sky, so maybe that would have been better. But what would have been a better solution for all probably is for the matches other than RT to be shown in another free-to-air channel. Possibly Virgin Media could have stepped in. I don't know, would they have been there from the start or anything like that? They did it with TV3 in 2013, as lately as that. TG Cahir, I don't know, like, they do the league and stuff like that, and a lot of people are complaining because they don't know the Irish language, me included, probably yourself included as well, John.
Yeah.
But maybe that's because that's an us problem, to be honest with you. Like, we don't know the language, we don't know, but maybe you could pick up a few things from Irish. But I think the main thing for it to be shown on a free-to-air channel other than RT. It didn't turn out that way. It's GA Go now, so we'll see how this goes next year. But I don't think it'll please everybody. I'll put it that way, John.
Yeah. It's like you. The more people you try to please, I suppose, Matthew, the more people you probably piss off, for want of a better phrase. I suppose, just to go through a few lines, obviously, on the statement that was released yesterday about the news coming through about Sky. So following the successful expansion of GA Go's streaming footprint during the pandemic, exclusive championship games will be made available on the platform in Ireland and overseas from the 2023 season onwards. RTE Television will continue to show 31 championship games across the island of Ireland, and the BBC retains its Ulster Senior Football Championship rights. BBC will also simulcast with RTE the All-Ireland semi-finals and finals, in addition to broadcasting this one of the finals on the wider BBC TV network. RTE will televise the Joe McDonagh Cup final, both Tottle Cup finals, and the both Tottle Cup semi-finals and the final for the next 5 years. Additional streaming details for these competitions will follow in due course. And of course, a new sharing arrangement between RTE and TG4 will see an increase in the number of Saturday night free-to-air Alliance League games broadcast, while TG Car will continue to broadcast Sunday afternoon and non-regular Alliance League games. BBC will also stream up to 10 Alliance League games involving Ulster teams per season. TG Car and RTE will continue to provide coverage of the AIB GA Club Championships also. TG Car has also retained the rights of the Electric Ireland GA Minor Championships, Airgrid GA Football Under 20 Championship, O'Neill's.com GA Hurling Under 20 Championship, Electric Ireland GA Higher Education, Mazita GA Post-Primary Winter Provincial competitions. RTE will broadcast at least 9 live camogie matches per annum, continue their Sunday night highlight show, and introduce a second highlights offering. TG Car will also carry Monday night highlights and other GA programs as per previous years. And GA Go will continue to stream live matches to Diaspora, while worldwide and the EU pilot with Galician media outlet TVG is also planned to continue. Overall, approximately 200 games will be broadcasted every year, Mr. Hurley. That's impressive going.
It is, yeah, but the question really is how many of those games will be on GA Go, you know. That'd be the main question in this, because most of the championship games will be on that. They'll be on RTE. The league game, I think the league has got a good deal, to be honest with you. It's got TG BBC, it's got RTE, and rightly so. I think the league is very, very entertaining indeed, whether it's Division 1 down to Division 4. I think it's one of the most exciting competitions, particularly in football. I'd be interested to see. I'm not sure, you're definitely not a hurling man, John, but I'd be interested to
It's not as strong a hurling stronghold match. Don't worry. Yeah, never was. We tried but failed.
Exactly. Sure, you could try again. You could win a lower competition, go to Pro Park, maybe.
Who knows? In fairness, was the Larry Maher final last year, but yeah, overall we're a big ball enthusiasts.
So. Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see about the BBC. Like, they haven't televised hurling particularly in the last few seasons, so it'll be interesting to see who they get on board going up to the BBC. Like, I know Antrim are probably the only hurling stronghold up there, probably down Derry around there. So it'll be interesting to see how they'll televise the semi-finals and the final. It'll be intriguing to see. But for the football particularly, I actually enjoyed BBC's coverage last year. I watched it's outstanding. It is really good. Like,
it's on the money. It's on the money.
It definitely is. Sure, geez, the pundits there, I think Mickey Hart was excellent when he was on it. Peter Canavan, I could listen to him all day. I think he's an outstanding, insightful guy there. Oisin McConville would be a big loss to both RT and BBC, in my opinion. I think he's probably one of the most unbiased pundits. He's insightful. I think he's outstanding. So, but they'll add more pundits. I think Marty Clark is there as well from Down. I think he's an excellent pundit as well. So, that'll be a very, very good showing there. It'll be interesting to see who RT employ now. Like, a load of extras there with Spillane, with O'Rourke, and McConville, obviously, McStay. A load of them now are gone. It'll be interesting to see who RT employ now. Will they get Jimmy McGuinness on board?
I know.
That'd be very, very interesting. I'd love Jim McGuinness to even go to BBC or RT, one of the two, because I honestly think it'll be a waste. He's just an outstanding pundit, really.
Yeah.
The way he sees the game, it's superb. But yeah, I'd be interested to see how RT deal with that, or I'd be interested to see how BBC continue on their brilliant coverage from last season. And GA Go is probably the most interesting part, or maybe another interesting part as well. I think RT are going to show 2 highlight shows as well. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's very good. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
it's excellent. It is excellent, and this is something that we've been crying out for years now. And this is going on about the general population just complaining about whatever. I
think they're finally starting to listen to us, Matty. I think they're finally starting to listen.
Exactly. All they need now is a decent podcast. That's about it, really.
The RTE podcast, is it? The RTE.
Yeah. I like the
Not a
thing.
fan.
I'd listen to more yourself, Aaron's podcast or Play on GA, to be honest, rather than RT. I think it's a bit bland.
Yeah.
But,
I
but you
know.
know,
Don't ask the hard-hitting questions, Matt. That's what you're saying.
yeah, exactly. Sure, Jesus, too much political correctness, I'd say, John. Is it?
Oh, I would say so, my man. I would say so. Just I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine, and sure, that's great, and blah blah blah. But look, as you rightly said, there's big boots to fill in RT there. The likes of Pat Spillane gone, Colin O'Rourke gone. Obviously, Des Cahill has retired in recent weeks, so it's going to be a whole new ball game. So I think it's time for RT to give me or you a call and get the boys back in town or get the boys in. What are they hanging about for? But we will wait and see. It's all changed, Matthew, and maybe the change is going to be for the good. And a bit more housekeeping to keep up with. Donegal have finally got a senior football manager for the 2023 season, Matthew. Did you ever think it was going to happen? Paddy Carr has been appointed as the new Donegal senior football team manager with Aidan O'Rourke to work as head coach. On Monday evening, the Donegal GA County Committee ratified Carr for an initial 2-year term with a review after the first campaign. Former Donegal footballer Carr has previously managed Louth at intercounty level. Carr has been involved with club teams including Summerhill, Clareconlon Gills, Kilmacud Crokes, Burn, St Bridget's, Ballymun Kickums, and the highly regarded O'Rourke, who works as a performance support manager at Queen's University, won an All-Ireland with Armagh 2002. O'Rourke has subsequently coached intercounty level Clare, Down and Armagh, while also managing Louth in 2014 and 2013. So it's about time, Mr. Hurley.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Donegal do this. Like, he's more of a club manager now, Paddy Carr, from what I'm hearing anyway. Kilmacud Crokes is a decent club to manage there. Summerhill, I'm sure he did pretty well there. I think he did well in Down as well. So it'll be interesting to see how he implements his style into the inter-county game. Like, it's going to be a difficult job, Donegal. Like, you look at a lot of them players, Michael Murphy's getting on, Paddy McBrear's again getting on. He needs to integrate the younger players. Oisin Gallen being one I'm really excited about. Niall O'Donnell, Kieran Thompson, them kind of players need to be integrated more to this Donegal side. And it's going to be interesting to see how they perform, because like, Donegal have really failed in the last few seasons. Like, they've only reached the semi-final last in 2014. That's a long time for Donegal. So I think that's nearly 10 years. So, jeez, you know, that's an incredibly long time for Donegal. And even in Ulster last year, they kind of disappointed. They flattered to deceive in that Ulster final against Derry, against Armagh. Like, they were all over the place, really, once Armagh got their groove. And this will be an interesting job, because Derry are improving, Armagh are improving, Tyrone are bound to get a bounce back ability. Cavan, I think, have few, even though Thomas Gallagher's a big loss there. Like, Down might get a kick off, Conor Laverty in charge. So, you know, it's going to be a difficult job in Donegal. Same with Vinnie Corey with Monaghan. Like, it'd be interesting, particularly to see how them two counties fare in this season's championship, because both the managers haven't really managed in inter-county. Vinnie Corey hasn't managed at all. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they perform in the championships. Jesus, off the top of my head, I actually forgot who Donegal got in Ulster. No, I think it's is it Armagh in the quarters?
Oh God, Cavan played the winners of Armagh or Antrim.
Armagh or Antrim.
Yeah. So I could have a quick look for you.
It's 2 Monaghan and 1 anyway, so that's one cover.
Yes. Where are we going now? Yeah, we'll have a quick look at this, because obviously this draw was made literally 2 weeks ago, so we will have a look. Shoot, my man, shoot.
It's Down against Donegal on the other side of the Cavan draw. So
perfect.
They're on the same side.
Yes, so, perfect.
So that's my point about Conor Laverty coming into Down. Like, he's probably more of an experienced manager in recent seasons. Like, he's been part of that Kilcoo team over the last
and it's crazy. I think it was St. Aaron there. I think when Kilcoo won it that day, that he's the first man to manage a county team and win a club championship. So he's a remarkable man, Mr. Lafferty.
He's a very passionate man as well. Like, he was in that All-Ireland final programme as well for Down. I think he was on the bench that day, but He's a very, very good player, very good manager as well. He rounds up the players. And what will this do now for down football, like integrating the Kilcoo players? Now you have a situation where Kilcoo players would actually want to play for the county. And you wouldn't have had that over the last few seasons. So it'd be interesting to see how Donegal fare against them. But even if Donegal get past that challenge, Cavan or Armagh are not going to be easy shakes at all in that semi-finals. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next season. Tyrone as well, facing Monaghan, like really Corey there, Monaghan. So, as always, the Ulster Championship is going to be very interesting next year. But I think Donegal and Monaghan will probably be the two most interesting counties to look at, really.
Yeah, the Ulster Championship kind of saves the provincials, Matthew. If you didn't have Ulster, I think you would be up shit creek without a paddle, for want of a better phrase. I suppose, Matthew, we'll touch on to all the club action that took place last weekend. It was a mad weekend of sport, and it was great to have it. Obviously, kind of keeps the weekend ticking over, I suppose. On Saturday, Matthew, you had the Leinster Club Senior Football Championship Round 1 in Netwatch Cullen Park. It was Palatine of Carlow, 2-14, St Patrick's of Wicklow, 8 points. Very convincing win for Palatine, Matthew.
Yeah, very good win. I was watching this game as well on RT, and Palatine were outstanding in this game. Like, they had a slow start. St Patrick's got a bit of a run on them in the first few minutes, but they settled down, Palatine, to be fair to them. Like, Conor Crowley, I'm very interested by this Conor forward. He plays for Carlow. An excellent player.
Is he the young fella? He's only doing his leaving, I think, is he? Or who's the fella doing his leaving? There's a really young fella. Yeah.
Forward.
Sorry. Yeah, there's a real young fella. He's a great talent. They have a lot of exciting players, don't they?
They do, yeah. Like, as I mentioned there, Josh Egan or Conor Crowley. Like, they've excellent young players, this Palatine side. Like, the difficult aspect with them probably is the slow start they had. St Patrick's seemed to have a foothold on the game, but I have to commend their accuracy in this game as well. I was doing stats in the game. 66% shot conversion rate for a Carlow team, I think, is outstanding. It's a very good return indeed. Their kickouts was excellent. Their turning over the ball, I think, was superb as well. They only had 6 wides in the game compared to St Patrick's 9, so that was probably the big difference in the game. And they got the goals when they definitely needed them. Like in the second half, St Patrick's seemed to have foothold of the game, and then they got a goal towards the end. And I'm very excited by this Palatine team. I think they look pretty good, but in the next round now they're playing Port Arlington, and Port Arlington, I was seeing last year, they look very good. What I'd be interested to see, I know this is off topic now with the Port Arlington game. I've seen on the Scorpio app, download it if you haven't already. It's an excellent app for the club championship at the moment. But I've seen on that app that 3 men got sent off at the Port Arlington game. I was actually going to look into it at the time. What exactly happened in that game? I don't know. It could have been a brawl or something. I've seen Jake Foster, one of Port Arlington Stars, got sent off in it. So he can be out of this game against Palatine in the quarterfinals. So that'll be a big loss for them. But I'd be confident if I was a Palatine fan or a Carlow football fan. I'd be very, very confident. They look a very, very good side, this Palatine team. But Port Arlington will be a different challenge than St Patrick's. St Patrick's, let's not forget, I think RT mentioned they were missing loads of players through injury and travelling and things like that. So, they kind of had the thing going against them there. So Palatine will be a very, very interesting prospect in this Leinster Championship.
Yeah, it'd be good to keep an eye on them, and obviously great that RT got around to showing the game as well. Obviously, the Leinster Football Championship up on nights, and it was the first game shown live in the Leinster Club Championship, so it was great to see, and fair play to all the players involved as well, because I know obviously maybe St Patrick's probably got a bit of a stick for the way they maybe set up, but obviously great to get into them positions, and fair play to the lads. And I suppose we can move on to Sunday's action, Matthew. We had in the Leinster Club Championship Round 1 in Chadwick's Wexford Park, you had Port Arlington 1-11, Castletown 10 points.
Yeah, this was an absolutely excellent game, apparently, according to the fans of Laois or Wexford or whatnot. But again, I've seen this at Scorpiona, and apparently there was loads of sending offs in this game. Got a goal. I think Port Arlington got a goal late in the game through Patrick O'Sullivan, and then all hell breaks loose or whatever. But I have to see some clips on Twitter about this, because I mean, I'm genuinely intrigued what happens at the end of this game, because I think 3 men got sent off in the last minute of additional time.
Okay.
So it'd be very interesting to see what happened there. But I watched Port Arlington last year in the Leinster semi-final against Kilmacud Crokes. I was very, very impressed with them. I really was. Like Jake Foster up in the forward line, Colin Murphy, Patrick O'Sullivan. I think they have some excellent players. And they hammered Port Leash, I think, in the Leash Senior Championship. So there's some very nice players there. And Castleton and Mellows, I thought, like, they would put it up to them, but I didn't think they'd put it up this much to Port Arlington. Like, maybe it shows a bit of flaws in the Port Arlington style of play, but Palatine against Port Arlington now in the quarterfinals. I'd be interested to see this game, but again, the winners will most likely play Kilmacud Crokes in the semi-finals. So, like, it could be curtains there, but I guess they'd love the opportunity to come up against Shane Walsh there. Doing a mucking. But yeah, maybe not. Maybe they want to save the embarrassment, really. But it'd be interesting to see what happens between those sides, Palatine and Port Arlington. But it'll be a game definitely that is worth keeping an eye on, because both sides, when I've watched them, played some nice football, nice brand of football, both of them really.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And obviously, moving into the other Leinster Club Championship game that happened on Sunday in RD, in St Mary's, RD 3-7, Colmkill 1-7. Obviously, they're along for champions. Colmkill get knocked out. They obviously had a good win against Mullinlough the last out. Falling short to a pretty impressive St Mary's team, Matthew.
Yeah, and interesting enough, like, I know a lot of people will put me down as a statsman or a journalist or whatever, but I remember...
In fairness, the way things are at the minute, Matthew, they're good things we put down by, so give yourself a thumbs up.
Exactly. But even better, I would say, I actually played against this most of these RD St Mary's lads, under 14, in a Fela competition. It was up in Mayo. My club in West Cork now, I let the viewers or the listeners guess who the club is. But
I'm sure the answers will be rolling in. My DMs will be absolutely flat out all night.
Exactly. You'd be a busy man, John. Busy man. But yeah. I remember actually I played against this RD St Mary's team. A lot of them players. I have a match program of their team actually, and Tom Jackson and Liam Jackson were on that under 14 team as well.
Oh, brilliant!
So I could have marked one of them. I'm not sure, but
you were their toughest opponent, apparently.
Probably so. But I don't want to pat myself in the back too much. But I actually there was a lot of teams in that program. I think Dunboyne ladies were on that. I think Nemo Rangers and Ballybones and St Enda's were on that. But my club anyway played against RD St Mary's. We got a humbling. I think it was 2-18 to no score in a 30-minute game.
Oh,
so
God. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
right.
So it probably shows, well, our club is just a bunch of crossroads, really. It's a small club in Cork. It's part of the rural area of West Cork now. But this RD St Mary's team, it probably shows how good they are coming up through the ranks. Their youngsters look very good, especially on that day in a sunny evening in Mayo in 2014. They looked very good. But now they're translating that into the senior fields. And now they're in the Leinster quarterfinals, played the Downs from Westmeath. It's a brilliant story, and hopefully, for their sake, now they get to a semi-final or a Leinster final, because it'll be something to talk about, especially on my page, that I played against these lads, and they might remember me.
Fingers crossed, my man. Fingers crossed. All the greats always get remembered, Matthew. So we will keep the fingers and the toes crossed for you. And then moving on to the Ulster side of things, Matthew. In the Armagh Senior Football Championship final in the Athletic Grounds, it was Crossmaglen 119. Greenmore 10 points, Matthew. It feels like the Rangers are back. Jamie Clark obviously quite quiet in this game. Obviously probably snuffed out in large parts. Keane McConnell getting man of the match. The timeless Aaron Kernan winning his 17th Armagh Championship medal. What a statistic as well, Matthew. But look, are the Rangers back?
I think they look to be back, yeah. Like, the major hurdle was to get over this Armagh Championship. They haven't in the last few years. Like, they lost to Mahary one year. They didn't lost to Clonera last year. Like, there was the question, would Crossmaglen find their mojo again? But they apparently did against Greenmore. They produced a very good performance. And when you look at the Crossmaglen team, it's littered full of stars. The O'Neill brothers, of course, Jamie Clark at the full forward line, Aaron Kernan, like you keep McConville as well. You have stars all over the field for this Crossmaglen side. They're playing Ballybay in the next round in Ulster, but after that, if they go over that, I don't want to disrespect any Ballybay people, no, but in the next round, they're due to play Kilcoo. Kilcoo against Crossmaglen.
Yeah, like that'll be worth making the trip to.
It will be, or even to pay a stream, maybe. But,
you would make the trip. You would make the 5-hour trip down, no?
Probably not. I'd have to take the bus. I'm yet to drive at the moment, John. I'm doing lessons at the moment, but you know,
we all get there in time, my man. We all get there in time. Don't worry.
Exactly. But yeah, it's one thing I really want to go up to an Ulster Championship game where there's club or county. Like it's
more than welcome, buddy. More than welcome. We'd love to have you.
Sure, it seems like a good atmosphere, John. So I may as well go up in here.
Accommodation anytime you want, my man. Accommodation anytime you want.
Yeah, exactly. Sounds good. Maybe we'll book a date and I'll be there. But yeah,
100%, buddy. Anytime.
Exactly. Sure. Yeah, it'd be something to behold there. But yeah, Crossmaglen, they look a very, very good outfit, and it'll be interesting to see how they fare against Kilcoo. I'm not sure. I think you mentioned on your Twitter page there that Kilcoo are maybe on the road to another All-Ireland title. Crossmaglen might have something to say about that, John. They might go and beat Kilcoo in this game. So,
and it'd be such a siege mentality, but it's funny because like I said, I'd be good mates to Paul Devlin, and he'd be kind of keep me in tune. And I know obviously the initial reaction you'd be thinking, since Mickey Moore left, standards have probably dropped. But look, I think it's 6 replays or 6 extra time victories they've had in the last year. So that kind of shows that their heart, determination to get over the line in these games. And maybe are they a bit short this year? But I just think I've seen Aaron put up the people who could win potentially the All-Ireland. I think they're third favourite, so I think that suits them down to the ground too.
I think they're fourth, John. I think I watched the video before on here, so yeah, it's very low down. I think St. Vimbars are actually ahead of them from Cork. So
this is what Aaron says. Aaron's maybe trying to wind the thing up. He's hotly back in Kilmacud Croke, so I have to say.
Yeah, he's ramping up the views to put Kilcoo down in fourth. But yeah, I'd actually fancy, if Crossmaglen were to come up against Kilcoo, I'd actually fancy Crossmaglen. I don't know what you think yourself, John. Would you back Kilcoo still?
Yeah, I think that would be number one. It would be an absolutely mouth-watering game, and I think it'd be a game that we've been waiting for in the Ulster Club Championship for so many years. And I think it'd be a great game. I think obviously Crossmaglen seem to be on the rise again, and even getting the likes of Jamie Clark back. And so Jamie wouldn't have kicked the ball for Crossmaglen. Maybe you could put me right on this. I think maybe since 2016, he's obviously done a lot of travelling since that. So obviously he's been on the Crossmaglen scene for so many years, and Aaron Kernan seems to be flying, Keane McConville's flying, the likes of Rian O'Neill, Oisin O'Neill. So they are little bit talented. Then you look at the Kilcoo end of things, you've Mr. Lafferty, Devlins, the Brannigans. So it will be a mouth-watering game. But look, Crossmaglen have to get over that hurdle of Ballybay. But Matthew, that's a serious win on Sunday still. Graham Moore did put it up to them, but Crossmaglen did look at their ease at the best times too.
At the age, and maybe they're slowly coming back to their best as well. I talked about getting over that hurdle in the JMac Championship. They haven't in the last few years for some strange reason, but there was always the feeling, even when they were on TG Carroll at one time, that they were primed to do this. They were primed to get this JMac Championship. They were going to do it eventually. It's Crossmaglen Rangers. Come on, they have 6 All-Ireland titles. It was bound to, they were bound to end that drought sooner rather than later. So, it's a brilliant club. They have brilliant players all over the field. I think the fact that Rian O'Neill is so close to an All-Star, we'll see tomorrow, Friday night, whether he'll get it or not. But if he gets it, that will ramp up the Crossmaglen club even more as well. The confidence is sky high there as well. So they're probably a dark horse for the All-Ireland as well, this Crossmaglen side. I wouldn't usually say this about some side I'd usually back my own in Munster, but this Crossmaglen side, I'm really interested to see how they perform. Rian O'Neill, excellent. Oisin O'Neill, Keane McConville, McConville,
baller.
Yeah. Jeez, I see one of the goals and TG Carroll back, and oh my God,
it was outrageous.
Yeah, Like, oh my God, what a player he is. And Aaron Kernan and Jamie Clark, two experienced players. And I know Jamie Clark hasn't played in a long time, but every time I've seen him play Gaelic football, I was like,
classy.
wow.
Yeah.
He's an unreal player. No wonder he
Yeah.
got a soccer contract, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
He's that good. He's unreal. So, yeah, this Crossmaglen team, I think it could be going places, starting off with Ballybay, Kilcrew, and then the semi-final, like, they might meet Cavan's own Gona in the semi-final there. So, yeah.
They're going to have to beat the Fermanagh champions, and then are they into a semi, is it?
That's exactly it, yeah.
Seriously, that's all going to have to, like I'm not kind of tempting fate there, but there'd be favourites going into that Fermanagh champions game, surely.
They have to be. I'd say they have to be. Like, if it was Derry Gondy Harps, I'd say they'd be probably favourites. But seeing as it's Fermanagh champions, I would probably back Gona as well. Like, I think Gona were an RT, were they?
They played well. Did a good championship final win against Kilgarry there 2 weekends ago as well. So, yeah, they could be going in as dark horses as well.
They could be, yeah. Like, wouldn't it be great for Cavan football? I don't think they've ever won an Ulster club championship. Correct me if I'm wrong, no, John. But
I don't think so. We've had it. It's probably been one of the great crutches. You can nearly say a match in the last couple of years. Like a couple of years ago, we had great Cavan Gales teams. This Gowney team's good. You Crush Law in the last couple of years. You had Rammer. It just seems when we get, I know Kilcoo gave Rammer a bit of a lesson last year, but it seems to be just, you win your county championship and you don't make a concerted effort at the Ulster club. I know Cavan Gales got to the final in 2017, but I think it's time to maybe right that wrong, go make a bit of a journey. I know Gowna probably are getting back to training this week after winning it last weekend, but if they can try and make a concerted effort this year, because I know Crossmaglen, as you rightly saying, are on the horse again, but maybe it's not the Crossmaglen team in fold. If this hoodoo around this Kilcoo team, so this could be the year to make a stab at Ulster, but you've Glen there as well. So lots of good teams left too, Mr. Hurley.
Yeah, some very good teams. I'll look at the bracket for the Ulster Championship. It's on my Instagram page and I think it's on my Twitter as well. I looked at the Ulster here. It's Kilcoo against either Crossmaglen or Ballybay. The Fermanagh champions are playing Gowna. That's one side of the draw. Then on the other side, you have Carrigan against Naomh Quinnell from Donegal. So that'd be an interesting game. And then Watty Graham's Glen against whoever wins the Tyrone Championship. And so
yeah. So
that'll be tasty. Like, especially if that's Errigal Kieran. Mm-hmm. Imagine the Canavans coming up against Conor Glass.
I know. The beauty of the club. The beauty of the club. All
right. And like, if Errigal Kieran and Crossmaglen were to get through, that's two mouth-watering quarterfinals in Ulster.
Yeah.
Kilcoo, Crossmaglen, Errigal Kieran and Glen. Oh my God!
I know. It's all ahead of us. I think if Gowna play their cards right and get themselves in the mindset of trying to win an Ulster club or even get as far as the final, this could be the year, because you never know what could happen. It's the beauty of the club championship, my man. But that's a serious win for Crossmaglen Rangers, no doubt. And suppose sticking with Ulster in the Derry Senior Football Championship final in Celtic Park, you had Glen 112, Slot Neil 7 points. Mr. Hurley, Slot Neil did not show up.
They didn't know, and it was unfortunate, really. Like, they have loads of brilliant players all over the field, like Brendan Rodgers especially, Chrissy McCaig, Shane McGuigan. They have a good hurling team as well. Like, it just didn't work for them, really. Glen are really primed for this All-Ireland this year. Like, you look at midfield partnership in Emmett Bradley and Conor Glass, that's arguably or probably the best club partnership in midfield in the country at the moment. It's unbelievable. Imagine two inter-county players in the same midfield as a small little club. I mean, that is unreal. But you have the forwards there. Danny Talon is hitting form for Watty Graham's Glen at the moment. You have a few of their defenders is doing pretty well, and Malachy O'Rourke just knits it all together. Like, he's in. And I'm sure Donegal wanted him. I think they made inquiries and they didn't get him. So they're just so to show. And probably it just shows what Malachy O'Rourke sees in this Glen team as well.
Yeah.
Like, he might think we could be on for an All-Ireland here. We got unlucky against Kilcoo last season after extra time, of course. So maybe this is the season where they go on a run. But as you said, Shotlead were very, very disappointing, especially with the players they have. But I think Glen, they're a team that are primed to go further on to the All-Ireland series. And I think while we're on it, I think Glen were actually second in Ireland's rankings behind Kilmacud. So like, if any team was to beat Kilmacud, it'll probably be Watty Graham's Glen. So watch out for this team. They look a very, very good prospect.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a great win for them. And obviously, Conor Glass, I think he was doing a bit of slagging with Hasbulla on Twitter. If anyone follows Conor Glass, I think Monday Club or Tuesday Club, very, very funny tweets. I don't know, did you see any of the Monday Club or Tuesday Club picks, Matthew?
Few of them, yeah, few of them. Like I think Tommy Rooney was mentioned, and a load of other people and things like that. It's gone viral a small bit and stuff like that. Just a load of pics and a load of videos going around, and a few videos being taken down and stuff like that as well. Like he put up a video about a team scoring the last minute of the game to win the club championship, and then the streaming editor went on to me and said, "No, you can't post this." And I'm like, "Your company aren't posting it, so it's
you can never win. You can never win.
You can't. It's ridiculous the way it's gone there. But we're happy enough with photos, John. It's brilliant to see with the Monday Club and all that. So photos will have to do rather than videos. We don't want to be copyright strike after all.
100%, my man, 100%. And moving on to the Kerry Club Championship Senior Football Final between Kieran's O'Reilly. It was 15 points to Kieran O'Reilly's and Temple No 14 points, a 1 point win for Kieran O'Reilly's. Mr. Hurley, you obviously love Kerry and you were definitely watching all of this game, I'd say.
Yeah, I was watching a few bits of it there, John. Very, very good game indeed. But
You love Kerry. You love Kerry.
What can I say? What can I say? They're brilliant All-Ireland champions. Have to say, love them there. Love them there. They're brilliant in interviews and all that. And they're lovely, lovely rivals. I have to say. But
very political answer. Very political answer. They're training you well. They're training you well in the Southern Star.
Have to be now. But it was a. I was hearing from some people that Temple No were going to win this championship, and even I thought Temple No or Dingle would have caused a bigger threat to the Bars than Kieran's O'Reilly's have. But look, Kieran's O'Reilly's have made it through. It's difficult on Temple No teams like that, and Dingle especially, because I think Kieran's O'Reilly's lost 4 games this season and the whole championship across the 2 of them. So for them to lose 4 games and then go into the represent Kerry, I mean, I don't know, does this make a mockery of the Kerry Championship, to be honest with you? Like, with East Kerry rising up, with Big Kerry and all them teams, and then you have Kieran's O'Reilly's who are losing this amount of games and being county champions out of the club. I mean, there's a few question marks there, and maybe if they lose to a Clare champion, or I think it's the Clare champions or the Waterford champions they're playing in the Munster semi-final. So if they lose to a Clare champion, for example, this will be hell to pay in Kerry, I think. They might go on about being an exciting championship and all that, but once Kieran's O'Reilly's might lose this Munster semi-final, there might be hell to pay, and the Kerry folk won't be happy, I'd say.
Yeah, no, 100%. And it's look, I suppose the more people you try to please, the more people you seem to piss off as well. So we will see. But that is obviously a great win for Kieran's O'Reilly and on the go. And then the Roscommon Senior Football Championship Final in Dr. Hyde Park, he had Strokestown 11 points, Boyle 10 points. A mighty win for Strokestown. The celebrations look like they were unbelievable, must still be ongoing. But the Boyle or the Smith brothers, heartbreak for them. Obviously, they would have loved to win it. But Strokestown were the victors, Matthew. Yeah,
very good final indeed. Like 2 novel pairings there, Roscommon. And now Strokestown going into the semi-final against the Galway Mayo champions in the Connacht Championship. So that'll be very, very interesting to see how they got on that. Maybe they could pull off a shock again there. But I was disappointed for the Smiths, to be honest with you. Like Inda and Donny, they put so much into the ball GA. And it was just disappointing the way it ended for them. But Strokestown, it's another story for another story in the club championship. And it'd be brilliant if they reach the Connacht final, but they'll find it difficult against the Galway or Mayo champions, because you look at Mike Cullen or Ballina, Stephen Hines or Westport, and they'll be gunning for this Strokestown team indeed.
Absolutely, my man, absolutely. And obviously, Strokestown will be absolutely delighted with that. And just looking forward to this weekend's fixtures, Matthew, on Sunday, the 30th of October. I suppose if you could give me a prediction on, say, the Clare Senior Football Championship Final, Arrow Guinness against Ennismone in Cusack Park at 2 p.m. What are we thinking in a few words?
Just a few things. I think it's Ennis Timon is how you pronounce the second one.
Ennis Timon, sorry, God, they'll all be on to me now. Apologies.
Glad I corrected you there, John. But,
Yeah, I'm worse than Aaron. I'm worse than Aaron.
exactly. But yeah, I back Aero Guinness in this. They were very impressive at the Munster Championship in Spades last season against the Bars, and I'll probably back them to win this Clare Championship and to play probably the Waterford champions at the Munster quarter final.
Super stuff. And then moving on to, here we go, my man. The Cork Senior Football Championship Final. Nemo Rangers against St. Finn Bars, Páirc Uí Chaoimh, 4 p.m. Mr. Hurley, have you your ticket got?
Not yet, John, but I am going to it. I am definitely going to this game. It's a very, very good pairing. Interesting, Nemo have only lost 4 finals in their entire history in, I think, 30 or 40 finals or something like that. So, they're underdogs going into this. The Bars are the favourites. But, yeah, I back the Bars. I think they're nearly favourites for the All-Ireland at this stage. And I said on Aaron's podcast that they could win the All-Ireland. I'd stick by that. This team is an absolutely machine of a team, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nemo turn it on the day. They're that kind of a team. They're that kind of a club. And yeah, I will be going to this game, largely looking forward to it. And hopefully, I'm hoping the Bars win it because I think they'll be good representatives for Cork football.
Brilliant stuff, man. It'd be great to see a few of the lads make the transition onto the Cork Senior Football team, no doubt. And obviously in the Kerry Senior Football Championship Final, you have East Kerry v Mid Kerry in Austin Stack Park, 2:15 game live on TG Cahir.
Yeah, I'd probably go East Kerry in this. Mid Kerry looked good in the semi-final against Field Rangers, but East Kerry is nearly like a county side, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'd say East Kerry should win this pretty easily, to be honest with you, John.
Super stuff. And then in the Mayo Senior Football Championship Final, it's Ballina Stephenites against Westport at McHale Park at 2:30. Mr. Hurley.
I'm going to go Westport. I know Ballina Stephenites, a lot of people are saying them and they're in good form, but I just believe in a fairy tale story. Lee Keegan trying to win his first Mayo Championship. If he was to do it now on Sunday, it'll be superb. Great to see, as you said there. And yeah, it'll be brilliant seeds if Westport do it. Mark Moran's on that team as well, centre forward. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I think Westport will do it.
And a great game to wrap up the weekend. It's in the Tyrone Senior Football Championship Final. It's Conor Gormley's Carrickmore against Errigal Kieran in the O'Neill's Healy Park at 4:15. Mr. Hurley, that will be a mouth-watering clash.
It will be, yeah. Look, Errigal Kieran have much the better players. Carrickmore, maybe the team, most people would say. But yeah, you'd have to back Errigal Kieran. This, you have Peter Hart, the Canavan brothers. You've talent all over the field in this Errigal Kieran team. And I think they could do really well in Ulster. They'll play Watt Graham's Lane if they win this as well. So, game, mouth-watering.
Yeah, that'll be definitely worth a few pound on the stream on Sunday. Mr. Hurley, thanks a million for joining me this week. I'm delighted we got through all that news. Jeez, I was fretting we weren't going to get through it in the time constraint we have. But Mr. Hurley, thanks a million from the GA Statsman for joining me this week. And of course, this podcast is brought to you by Orgarech.com. Use promo code JMac podcast to get 15% off on their website. Mr. Hurley, enjoy the Cork final this weekend. Have a great Wednesday. And I'm presuming you'll be watching Liverpool now in 1 minute or two. Yeah,
I think they're 1-0 up, John. So,
happy man.
Yeah, brilliant. But we need a win. We need a win, definitely. thanks for letting me on again today, despite the fact you're a Man United fan.
An absolute pleasure, man. Always good to catch up with you, and we will touch base soon. You're a gentleman. Thank you.
Thanks very much, John. Thank you.
Cheers, sir.